Hi, my name is Amy P. Havick, and I work at Durham Parks and Recreation for the City of Durham. Because I live really close to downtown, and I thought it would be a fun way to have alternate transportation to get to work. I'm 1.9 miles from my office here at Parks and Recreation and through the trail, and it's been a lot of fun to bike each day or most days to work. It really does make a difference in your gas use. I've always tried to be really cognizant of running errands in groups to try and conserve gas. But this makes you even more aware of organizing your trips because you don't want to ride a whole bunch of extra miles for a trip that you could have made really easy on yourself. It makes me really cognizant of that. In the last 2 months, I've only had to get a tank of gas each month. Normally I have to do a tank and a half, so it'd save me about a half a tank of gas each month. It's made it easier. The first day I got the bike and I went home, I came back in and I was all excited. I was like, there's a hill that I got up on the bike that in all the years of bicycling, I've never been able to get up. I always had to walk up it. And so the fact that the electric bike gave me a little bit of boost to get up that hill, which is a pretty steep hill right after a stop sign, made it so much fun. I was like, I am hooked. Was like, this is it. This is what I needed. But not getting to work and being like, oh, I'm already exhausted for the day. It also doesn't take me any longer to get to work on the bike than it does driving. So my experience with the Pilot has been great. There was nothing complicated about doing the little app that you have to check in with on a regular basis because it makes it pretty easy. The bike is easy to take care of. I take it into my house at night because on my other bikes I've always brought inside. So it comes inside at night as if it's one of my kids. And so I just put it in a bedroom. But it's been really wonderful seeing the number of people out in the mornings, either walking their dogs or walking or taking their bikes. A couple of times I've come across families taking the kids to school on their bikes. Yesterday I was behind 3 boys and their dad as they were headed to school, and they were a riot. It was great fun to ride behind them and listen to their banter and see them being encouraged to ride their bikes to school instead of driving or taking the bus. The Pilot gave me the skills and the knowledge to feel comfortable buying an e-bike. E-bikes are fairly expensive, and so I wouldn't have felt comfortable just going out and, well, let's buy an e-bike without having tried one before for a period of time, and not just like test driving one from a bike shop where you're going around the block and, oh yeah, that's great, because you don't know how it's gonna hold up over time. In the last 2 months, I've been building a habit. And the habit is I bike to work. And so I make that time and effort to bike to work instead of just grabbing the keys and running out of the house and hopping in the car. And it's a habit that I want to keep. And so that's why when I learned when the program would end for me so that the next group can have their chance, which I'm really supportive of, I was like, well, I think it's time for me to get my bike. So I was nervous. I hadn't ridden a bike in like 10 years, and I'm a little overweight. And so I was like, I really want to do this, but is this going to be right for me? Am I going to be able to handle this? And so they were able to help with that, let me know if I had any questions to please reach out. And so then I made the commitment, and I was like, I'm going to do this. And when I started doing it, it was like, wow, this is so fun and easy. And yeah, I can tell after 2 days, I was like, yeah, I can tell I'm getting a workout because my legs hurt. You're definitely not just sitting on the bike and letting it do all the work. You have to work too.